Single dad, if you're dating again, you need to hear this before you get too attached, because the wrong woman won't just break your heart. She can bring chaos into the life you've spent years building for yourself and your children. And here's the part most men don't see coming. The women you need to avoid aren't always obvious. Some of them will look loving, supportive, and even perfect in the beginning. But if you know what to watch for, you can spot the red flags before you give her your heart, your home, and your children's trust. Today we're breaking down 5 types of women every single dad should think twice about dating. 1. The competitor. Single dads come with baggage. That is a fact. But the competitor treats your child like a rival for your affection, setting up a toxic dynamic from day one. You might notice this start in subtle ways during your early dates. She will constantly complain that you spend too much time, too much money, or too much emotional energy on your kids. When you have to cancel a date because your child is sick, she does not offer sympathy or understanding. Instead, she sighs deeply, rolls her eyes, or drops passive-aggressive comments like, "It's always them, never me. I guess I'll just stay home alone." Here is the brutal truth that every single father needs tattooed on his brain. If she is competing with your children for your love, she has already lost. A good high-value partner understands that your kids come first. She respects your role as a father and admires your dedication. But the competitor views your natural parental instincts as a personal insult to her ego. She wants to be the absolute center of your universe, and she resents any tiny human who occupies space in your heart before she arrived. If you ignore this glaring red flag, you will spend every single day of your relationship torn directly down the middle. You will feel constant guilt for trying to be a good father while managing her perpetual tantrums. Every time you buy your kid a birthday present or a new pair of shoes, she will find a way to make you feel guilty about the financial cost. She will push you to distance yourself from your children under the guise of wanting quality time for just the two of us. But let's be honest, true quality time can never happen when resentment is sitting at the table. Marrying the competitor means signing up for a lifetime of forced choices between the woman sharing your bed and the innocent children who depend on you for survival. No father should ever have to make that choice, and no child should ever be made to feel like an intruder in their own home. You built a foundation of unconditional love with your kids, long before this woman walked into your life. Do not let her demolish it in the name of insecurity. Can you guess which personality type pretends to love your kids to your face,
but secretly despises them behind your back?
2. The savior complex. This woman loves the idea of being a stepmom, but she has completely detached herself from the messy, grinding reality of it. She swoops into your life on date 3, talking endlessly about how broken your family dynamic is and how she is going to swoop in and fix everything. She paints herself as the ultimate healer, telling you that your kids just need a woman's touch to get back on track. At first, it feels like a massive relief. You are tired, you are burnt out from doing it all alone, and hearing someone volunteer to share the load feels like a dream come true. She wants to play Instagram perfect family immediately. She pushes for family photos, rapid-fire bonding activities, and deep emotional conversations with your kids before they even know her last name. But here is why she is deeply dangerous. She is addicted to the high-drama rush of fixing things, not the quiet, unglamorous reality of building a stable home. She wants the applause of being the savior, but she has zero tolerance for the actual labor required. The moment your ex does something completely normal, or your kid acts out like a normal child having a hard time, the savior gets completely overwhelmed. The illusion shatters. She realizes that real parenting isn't a Hallmark movie script, where everything wraps up neatly in 30 minutes. It involves screaming matches, homework struggles, tears, defiance, and endless patience. Once that fantasy fades, resentment sets in fast. She will look at you, look at your kids, and feel like she was tricked. She will start blaming you and your children for ruining her grand project. The woman who wanted to fix your family will suddenly become the one tearing it apart from the inside out. What happens when a woman refuses to respect your boundaries as a father and tries to take over your authority? That takes us to the next point. The boundary crasher. You have fought hard to establish a healthy rhythm with your kids. You have rules, schedules, bedtime routines, and parenting dynamics that actually work for your family structure. You know what your kids need, and you have built a safe, predictable environment for them to heal and grow. Enter the boundary crasher. She thinks she knows better than you on day one, fueled by an arrogant assumption that biology and experience mean nothing compared to her intuition. She tries to discipline your kids behind your back, changes household rules without talking to you first, and completely ignores the co-parenting agreements you have painstakingly set up with your ex. If you tell your kids no video games on school nights, she will sneakily hand them the tablet behind your back and wink, saying, "Don't tell Dad." She thinks she is being the cool, fun girlfriend. But what she is actually doing is systematically destroying your authority as the head of the household. When you calmly call her out on this behavior, she refuses to take accountability. Instead, she immediately plays the victim and gaslights you by saying, "I was just trying to help. You're being too rigid. Why are you attacking me for loving your kids?" She turns a simple conversation about mutual respect into an indictment of your parenting skills. If she cannot respect your authority as a father while you are dating, she will completely undermine you once you put a ring on it. Marriage requires a unified front. If your partner is constantly subverting your rules, your children will quickly learn how to play the two of you against each other. You will lose control of your own home, and your children will lose the stable structure they desperately need to feel safe. Wait until you see the fourth type. This one is an absolute master of emotional manipulation. 4. The weaponized victim. You share kids with an ex-partner, which means friction, scheduling conflicts, and occasional drama are bound to happen. That is simply the tax of being a co-parent. But the weaponized victim takes normal, everyday co-parenting friction and blows it up into a continuous, life-altering catastrophe. She thrives on manufactured chaos and uses your past as a weapon against your present life. If your ex texts you about a simple schedule change for soccer practice, this woman loses her mind. She accuses you of still having feelings for your ex, questioning your loyalty and throwing accusations around like confetti. She demands you cut off all communication with the mother of your children, completely ignoring the harsh, legal and practical reality that you share a child and must communicate to raise them. She wants you to treat your ex like an absolute stranger, regardless of the impact it has on your kids' logistics. She uses guilt, heavy tears, panic attacks, and dramatic accusations to isolate you from your parenting responsibilities. Whenever your kids need you to step up, she manages to turn the situation around so that it becomes about how her feelings are being hurt. She forces you into an impossible corner where you feel like you have to choose between keeping peace in your romantic relationship and being a fully present, responsible father. Marrying her means walking into a permanent war zone of her own making. You will spend every single day managing her fragile emotions instead of focusing on your children's needs. The stress will bleed into every corner of your life, draining your energy until you have nothing left to give the people who matter most. And finally, the most subtle, quiet, and damaging type of all. 5. The chameleon. The chameleon is arguably the most terrifying type of woman on this list because she has no stable identity when it comes to family life. She is a master shapeshifter. When she is dating you, she morphs into whatever you need her to be. She claims to love kids, adores your parenting style, listens patiently to all your stories about your children, and acts like the ultimate maternal figure. She looks you in the eye and convinces you that she was practically born to be a stepmom. You feel like you hit the lottery. You think you found the rare unicorn who actually embraces the single dad lifestyle without reservation. You introduce her to your kids, and she plays the role to absolute perfection, bringing gifts, planning fun outings, and showering them with affectionate attention. You feel safe lowering your guard. Then, the moment you commit, whether through moving in together, engagement, or marriage, the mask completely slips off. The transformation is chilling. She drops the act overnight because she knows she has you locked down. She reveals that she actually hates dealing with kids, deeply resents your custody schedule, and only played the part to trap you into a commitment. The patient, loving mother figure vanishes, replaced by a cold, bitter stranger who complains about every single aspect of your family life. She treats your children like unwelcome roommates and makes your home a tense, miserable place to exist. By the time you realize who she really is, you are legally tied to her, and your innocent kids are caught right in the middle of the crossfire. Protecting your children and preserving your peace starts with the boundaries you draw in the choices you make today. Drop a comment down below right now. Which of these 5 red flags have you encountered out there in the dating world? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another hard-hitting video. Share this with a single dad who desperately needs to hear it today. And I will see you in the next one.